Hello. Hello, chat. Congratulations to Game Authant for being first. Hello. Hello, Game Authant. Hello, Very. How is everybody? I hope you're doing well. Hello, Pangea. We're we're at we're at the last of the or the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff before the reboot. And I'm gonna go through it, and then I'm gonna go over Ken Penders' lawsuit and like why they basically had to change this. This will basically cover all the way to the Mega Man crossover, and like I can show the Mega Man crossover, but like it's just like I don't know, it doesn't fucking matter. Like it's just a crossover between Sonic and Mega Man. Like it's cool. It has Sonic and Mega Man fighting in it. Like that's cool. But like does it actually have anything important happen in it? No, because it just happens and then it resets. Have fun lurking, Very. We're gonna have some fun after we're done all the comics because I'm gonna be going over the Penders stuff. But like, I hope you have a good lurk. I hope you stay hydrated. So we're starting out. The last thing, if you remember correctly, happened. The Genesis wave happened, and after the Genesis wave, things had changed somewhat, and then Sally ends up getting roboticized. Um, we have some filler this time. We have some Sonic universes that you don't expect you'll care about, like this. This one right here. This one starting off right with the Babylon Rogues. You're like, who the fuck cares about the Babylon Rogues? I promise you, by the end of this 4-part Sonic universe about the Babylon Rogues, important shit happens. You don't expect it, but like important shit happens to the point that I don't know why this was in Sonic Universe and not like the mainline story, because the main, like, it has some pretty big repercussions. And like again, like so much of the shit that like Flynn is like setting up and like doing stuff with, and like it was all just fucking thrown in the fucking dumpster because of Penders. But we'll get to that. Until then, we have the Babylon Rogues, and they, for those that don't know the Babylon Rogues, they are the main antagonists, rivals may be the better word for it. The main rivals from Sonic Riders and its sequel, Sonic Riders, whatever the fuck it's called. They're official Sega characters, which is why Flynn is using them. Flynn's using a lot of official Sega characters. Sure is funny how Flynn's doing that. Um, what happens in this? The Babylon Rogues have finally tracked down the thing they are looking for, which is the key to Babylon Garden. And this is something that they are. Hello, Forbler. This is something that like is the story of Sonic Riders. They are actually looking for the key to Babylon Garden. And they found it, and now we have another official Sega characters being pulled into the fray, and that is the Battlebird Armada. You may remember the Battlebird Armada were the antagonists of Tails' Adventure. And Flynn has kind of been writing the Battlebird Armada as like basically something that all of the birds in the series had something to do with. This is just a flashback to how Jet, I think his name is Jet the Hawk, and company left the Babylon Road, or left the the Battlebird Armada, and eventually formed the Babylon Rogues. They take the key, and the Battlebirds immediately detect the signal. Rotor immediately detects the signal. Now, this is just a vibe of just Rotor just sitting, spread legged, in a chair, in a basement somewhere at night. And keep in mind, this has all been the Sonic Genesis had just happened. Nicole still can't focus. We have this big Babylon Guardian. We got some action. We got some action. We got some action. They defeated. They we have the key. And I think also their extreme gear gets destroyed or something. Oh no, this was the flashback to them leaving and going rogue. And of course the Battle Cuckoos have shown up because they detected the energy signature. For those unaware, the Battle Cuckoos and the Battle Bird Armada are interchangeable. They go by the same name. They of course want the key to Babylon Garden because they've written this thing, the Babylon Garden key, as something basically a lot of the birds want, because it's their origins and how they fit in, and so their ancient origins they're trying to figure out. We get a lot more fighting scenes. We get a lot of fucking good action scenes from Yardley until the fucking Battle Cuckoo boss shows up and just fucking starts wrecking, because he is actually insanely strong. He's just grabbing fucking Storm the Albatross and just fucking choke slamming him. He also has this ring thing, and what this ring thing does is it freezes you in time. It's explained as a compressed gravity field, but it freezes you in time functionally. And this ring is rather important because it is a key to Babylon Garden. The Babylon Rogues give up and rejoin the Battlebird Armada. Since they give the key to the Battle Cuckoo, he shows that what they need to do, put the key into the cube thing, and it shows something. And so what's happening is back at the Nanite village, suddenly the battle birds are showing up there. And why are they showing up there? Because that's where their map is saying to go. And Sonic is still really pissed about losing Sally. So he is like, bring on battle birds. I'll fight you. He's not afraid to do that. Nicole raises the shield. Battlebirds talk for a little bit. The doctor has figured out a way to turn off the shield. Does it, and they turn off the shield. Sonic's like, I miss my girlfriend. I'm gonna roast some chickens. Yeah, basically. The Rotor and Sonic and company set out to defend the city. The Babylon Rogues are here too. They continue to fight them. Tails is like, something else is going on here. We get Ixis Naugus also comes to show up to protect his city, because remember, Ixis Naugus basically took the crown from Elias at the end of last issue. Naugus goes up and fights the Grand Battle Cuckoo, the 14th, and he just I particularly like this. Yes, a wizard, the wizard. You rely on magic to achieve your goals. My chief engineer relies entirely on his machines. My preferred means to an end, however, is brute force. And he just fucking punches Naugus in the fucking chest. They are evacuating the nanite city. Nicole is still distraught after losing Sally in her old body, and has prepared a city restore point basically to protect the city in case something happens. Remember, Bunny is also been turned into fully flesh. Elias tries to say some kind words to Nicole. Nicole just blips out. Turns out the Babylon Rogues dude has the ring now, which freezes Sonic in time. As you can see, Sonic is pretty pissed. Again, they just continue to beat up on everyone. We are in firing position. Gentlemen, I'd say it's a pleasure meeting you, but the real pleasure is ending you. You do well, my son. Savor this moment. Like a phoenix from the ashes of the wretched city, Babylon Garden shall rise. Sonic finally breaks out of the slow time, sees they're positioned over the city, starts going fast. Brrr, Nicole uploads her program to Freedom HQ. Naugus is there. Fire. Castle Acorn is fucking obliterated. So remember how I said, like, you wouldn't expect this to be, like, starting out as this is a story about the Babylon Rogues, to, by issue 3, have they fucking Independence Day the Castle Acorn. Because that is what this is. This is a direct, like, this scene is, you know, the scene is iconic from Independence Day, that movie, of them blowing up the White House. So they're blowing up the King Castle Acorn. Part 4 of 4. So they've completely destroyed the castle. Naugus sees this, goes into the shadows. There's now a big hole in the ground. A very, very big hole in the ground. And Sonic shows up. And he's pretty pissed. You put everything and everyone I care about in jeopardy as long as you get what you want. It's all cool, right? Dude, you so totally don't get sarcasm. And he gets stopped in time again. They put the key together with the ring, and it locks into this control panel. Something says, thank you. A robot activates. My ignition matrix was removed a millennium ago. Previous navigational routine may now resume. Sonic breaks out of the... Hello, Thanos. Sonic breaks out of the time stop again and is like, you fucking clowns. What is it anyway? Why in the name of chili dogs did Nicole build right on top of it? Nicole did not build the nanite city. She had never probed to this depth and thus never detected my presence. The city was constructed by the program Adam. He detected my systems and intended to tap the system to expedite the transport of mystic gems across the vast reaches of space. Remember back when Flynn took over the story, he had Adam make his move. Turns out Adam built the nanite city on top of this because Adam detected this was some kind of mysterious power source and wanted to investigate it further, and that's why Adam dropped the nanite city on here. And remember, Nicole took over the nanite city after Adam was gone. So that happens that they just were building on top of whatever this is. I'm equipped with a wormhole generator that creates shortcuts across space-time. However, my systems could not be accessed without the ignition matrix, so Adam sought other methods. So this is a spaceship. Affirmative. It was removed by the Babylonians due to an irreparable malfunction in the wormhole generator that would cause a creation of a black hole fuse. The destruction of the planet would result. They refused that responsibility and settled on this world. The ship and its matrix were hidden to protect the currents in the future. So, turns out all of the birds are technically aliens. They're technically the descendants of space aliens. Anyway, the spaceship actually fucking lifts off out of the ground. The battle birds grapple onto it because they're like, we're not leaving without it. They think the rogues have taken it for themselves. What are birds? We just don't know. They're space aliens. What is the ship doing? The ship is trying to return to the homeworld for repairs. And if you remember from what it just said, when it activates its warp drive, it creates a black hole, so it will destroy the planet entirely when it warps away. And Sonic ship's autopilot is going to open a black hole that will swallow Mobius. Thanks for waking up the Doomsday Machine, genius. Let me put back to sleep permanently. We only have 5 minutes. And fucking Speedy shows up, but turns out Sonic was too fast in the draw. You birds are lucky. I'm the good guy. If I weren't, I'd make sure you jerks couldn't fly out of here before the heap comes crashing down. Sonic destroys the key to the Babylon Garden. Lost to power of engines, all system failing, crash imminence. I'd like to stay and make stuffing out of you turkeys, but I need to make sure to get back. Make sure my friends and family are all okay. If anyone isn't okay, then you'd better hope you can run faster than me. Sonic just opens the fucking airlock and just explodes out the fucking window with just this look on his face. This is prime Sonic is just fucking done. So this is like, Sonic is so fucking pissed at this point because he literally just lost Sally. He just lost Sally. He knows she's roboticized. He knows they can't really do anything about that. He knows Robotnik's doing something right now. Robotnik still has the Death Egg. And the Babylon Rogues show up, laser the fucking city, and start bringing up a space station.
Are you prepared for the kind of death you've earned, little man?
Chips. They bring up a spacecraft that's threatening to destroy the entire planet. Sonic destroys the key for it and is like, if no one is okay, you better hope you can run faster than me. This is Sonic done. This is Sonic so fucking done. Can I send the title of a music? I don't see how that has to do with anything, so no. Sonic needs to make sure everyone is safe. The Broder starts the reconstruction of the city, but without no coal, it will be an arduous process. The Battlebirds assume that the Babylon Rogues did something. They will pay, even though it wasn't the Babylon Rogues that did that. The Battlebird Armada is trashed. The spaceship Babylon Garden is trashed. We're descended from aliens? That's heavy. Yeah, it really changes things. Now I gotta prove I'm the fastest thing in the universe. So, already off the bat, we've had the Nanite City get fucking lasered. What do we have now? If you remember at the end of last session, we have Antoine arrested Jeffrey St. John under trial, under the court, under the charge of treason. On the cover, we actually have some callbacks here. We have King Max as the brainwashed knight in the Zone of Silence. We have Warlord Kodos down here. We have Hershey. This is like one of the first times we actually get to see like Yardley drawing Hershey properly. We have Hershey, who is St. John's wife. We have the judges. Now, you remember these kangaroos? You may not remember these kangaroos. These kangaroos were originally from Sonic Spinball and then came back during Sonic's trial, an issue number like 30 after Mecha Madness. What was Mecha Madness? You may remember Sonic got roboticized and they thought he'd turn traitor. Hello, Ash Axel. And they held a court trial for Sonic, and that's these kangaroo characters coming back. Sonic's still, mopping up Battlebird patrols. This is exactly right after the Battlebird stuff that just happened. We have Jeffrey St. John's trial. Antoine goes through and asks St. John about a lot of stuff. Turns out the reason why St. John was working for Ixis Naugus was after his dad had died. Remember, his dad died protecting the Elias and his mom. He found from Warlord Kodos's, he was going through the belongings, namely those from his investigation of Warlord Kodos. That's where I found an Ixis artifact. And he talked to this artifact, and this was Ixis Naugus communicating with him through the gem from the Zone of Silence. And Naugus is like, "You are young and full of potential. I will guide you. Trust me, we will save the kingdom." And Jeffrey St. John was a young, impressionable kid, so he joined them. And he also learned all of his skills and magic skills through Naugus. And then he got the mission, "Prepare Mobotropolis for my return." Easier said than done, right? Thanks to the materials I'd taken, I knew where to look for recruits. Smiley look, it's Ian's boy. Wait until you hear about his plans for a rebel underground. And then he eventually met up with Sally. Because St. John got the mission to make sure that everything would be prepared for Ixis Naugus' return. So he was protecting the crown, kind of. They're like, why did you continue to play along with the scam even though all of these events that were happening? He's like, the zone was falling apart. I didn't realize King Max was, so addled. My master's about as subtle as a brick. Before I sabotaged the probe, I told him coming on too strong wouldn't go over well. I kept up the charade so I could salvage the situation. He allowed to continue tactic while he did his thing. So you may remember Sally refused to accept the claim of Ixis Naugus as king. He's talking about the roster of the Secret Service, and he's like, "Look, we were still working for the king at that time. I was making sure that after the kingdom of Nahul grew into something respectable. You were attempting to undermine the royal family. Everything I did, I benefited the kingdom itself and set it up for the true king. With all due respect, the authority of the prince and the princess was never legitimate, but the image kept the kingdom under his control." And so your marriage to Hershey was all part of the ruse, and he fucking gets pissed off. Don't you dare belittle her. And so St. John explains what happened with Hershey. Turns out he's like, Nagus was silent. I was no longer getting any guidance from him. So I had failed my missions as a master and as a secret agent. First, she'd been my best student. She learned everything I had to teach about being a secret agent. And then she taught me how to love, how to live for more than the mission. She was my partner in life as well as the field. We were married at gunpoint. It somehow felt right. She was my equal. She was my everything. It felt free, like I suddenly had a new direction in life. Turns out St. John and her had to split up on different missions. She went silent. He eventually started investigating. He found her the Felidae, which were the cat people in South America, gave the ruins of her uniform. St. John investigated and found no trace of her. I had lost the only other direction of my life. I knew Nagus was free. I'd seen how close we were to losing everything to Iron Dominion, so I went back to complete the other purpose in my life. King Nagus was the rightful ruler for years. I've served him since a child. I'm not guilty of treason. Antoine is like, his rule wasn't recognized till a few days ago. He admits to stealing documents, including those belonging to my late father, and to actively undermining his reign of 2 Acorn Kings without making his true allegiance clear. He is guilty. The kangaroos rule he is guilty. We, the judges, in agreement. The defendant was pretending to serve with the active authority while working against it. The ends do not justify the means. We found Commander St. John guilty of treason. Nagus, as king, is allowed to a 1 annual pardon. Formally pardons the defendant. I believe justice has been served and the matter is settled. St. John is pardoned, even though he was convicted of treason. Robotnik has come up with a new fuel thing for Sally, in that Sally is now powered by power rings. This is to prevent her from being brought back, because you remember power rings have the ability to restore the will of roboticized Mobians. Robotnik does this so that way Sally cannot get her free will back and is instead powered by power rings. Maximilian Acorn is still losing it. He doesn't really understand what happened. Elias is trying to be like, look, we need to escape. My firstborn child, my wife, we need to. I know if we move back to Feral Forest, I know with Nagus King will never be safe. I have to do something. What happens? Elias goes to a very, very, very deep cut in the lore. And he goes and sees a character by the name of Harvey Who. Who remembers Harvey Who? Harvey Who was from a one-shot comic back in the Gallagher days of basically leading an intelligence agency and being able to keep one step ahead of Robotnik. And he basically helped run the intelligence agency that Uncle Chuck was a part of when Uncle Chuck was roboticized. This was way, way, way back in the day. And as again, like, this is Flynn pulling out another deep cut. Ilias goes to Who and asks for help. I told him I didn't trust Krotos, but he made him warlord. I told him to kick out Nagus, but he booted Morgan instead. I told him not to trust that Overlander, and he let Robotnik take it all over. I had to watch his back because he never listened to me. The Prowers were right. The Acorns fumbled their reign, and so you go on and run away and let Nagus have his crown. Good night. You and I both know Nagus's ambitions don't end at the crown. I have to find a way to fight him without fighting the will of the people. You're the only man who knows how to strike from the shadows like that. Please help me. You're asking me to commit treason. I'm your king. Nagus is keeping my crown warm. Harvey Who is planning something called the Secret Freedom Fighters. I want to note these off panels. These off panels are all drawn by Jonathan Gray. So you all really like Jonathan Gray. At least we're getting Jonathan Gray like still showing up in, at least for these off panels, drawing funny little comics about everything. Elias is making a big show of leaving. It is from Antoine's journal. This is a plan to lure out Robotnik. The freedom fighters escort Elias. Robotnik uses his opportunity to attack. Bunny needs to remember that she does not have her arm cannon or her cybernetics. Robotnik finally launches Mecha Sally. Sally, he weaponized her. What did that sicko do to her? She has fucking blades on her arms. She fucking cuts up the tornado. Metal Sonic is here too. You've lost your cybernetics. You're no threat. Robotnik's trying to laser destroy King Elias. Send Metal Sonic, have it latch on and self-destruct. I've rebuilt it before. I can rebuild it again. Sonic, more action fights. Robo Sally, Mecha Sally. Antoine grabs Metal Sonic because Metal Sonic is trying to latch onto the vehicle that has Elias in it. He's like, I'm serving my king and country. They're like, oh, great. A freedom fighter grabbed it. And Robotnik's like, sure, have it detonate. So they hit the button and blow up Antoine. Oh, walkers, no. I got one of them. I finally got one. And Robotnik's like, we're done. We're done. We basically killed one of the freedom fighters. We're good. We're not pushing our luck for today. We're going home. What happened? How's the commander? Elias, listen, you're in the clear now. You just need to get going. He made sure you could get away safely. Don't waste that. Leonda being like, oh, for fuck's sake. And Snively is again like, why are we not pushing our advantage? And Robotnik's like, you're dismissed. You're ruining my festive mood. And Snively's like, no more scheming. It's time I finally took you down. Bunny, I'm not letting him go. I won't let him go. Sonic rushes Antoine back to the Nanite City. How did Robotnik find out about this? Turns out Ixis Naugus used the Chaos Emerald to make a phone call to Dr. Robotnik. We get some good, like, this is who drew this one? Ben Bates. We get a pretty good classic Robotnik here. Turns out that Robotnik way back in the day wanted to see what the Zone of Silence was about after exiling everyone there. Found Naugus, Kodos, the King Max, under the control. We had many merry adventures, you and I. Perhaps merry for you, you demented gargoyle, as Robotnik was on the run from Ixis Naugus while in the Zone of Silence. And this Feist, you get Feist again. Robotnik managed to rig up a thing to escape and get out of the Zone of Silence. Snively, yes, sir. Continue to monitor the Zone of Silence for the expansion, but don't you ever let me go in there again. And that's why Robotnik, you may remember back in the day, was using a device to keep the Zone of Silence from expanding, because he was so scared of having to fight Ixis Naugus again. Turns out Naugus lets Robotnik know that Elias was leaving the capital and would be weak to being attacked. Issue 235. Remember the Fallen. Silver, back in the future, is going through a bunch of old documents, finds Antoine's journal. Bunny is talking to a injured Antoine. I told him not to use that emerald doohickey they used on King Max. Saved him, sure enough. But he got real worse after that real quick, and I can't. I can't stand the thought of losing you any more than I already have. I'm sorry, Sugar. I'm so sorry for everything. You never treated me different when I was part robot. You stood by me when Nagas turned me back to normal. You loved me no matter what. You always had the strength to back me up. When you needed me to back you up, I couldn't, and now you're. Bunny is blaming herself for what happened to Antoine because she didn't have her cybernetics. Never again. I've lost you. I've lost Sally, but I refuse to lose anybody else. I know what I've got to do to protect everyone, to make things right. Wait for me, Sugar Tuan. Please forgive me for what I gotta do. My friends, from Bunny. Bunny leaves. Mammoth Mogul in the future is trying to remember what happened during that time. He's like, I remember Robotnik was doing something with the Death Egg. Nagas was trying to be king, and I was content to wait out the generation on opulence. When I could have been helping, all of this came to pass because one of the Sonic's founding freedom fighters took actions that destroyed the team. Once I'd recovered, I was far too late to help. Silver has put together pieces incorrectly and believes that Antoine is the traitor. Commander de Colette, the skittish one? I've warned you against abusing time travel too much. Even now, our memories become fuzzy and the ruin remains undebated. But no, if you decide to chase this tenuous lead, you will do so without taking the time stone with you. You'll either be right or you will stay in the past till you find the culprit. If I know I'm right and I will save the world, but how will I get back to this time? I will write instructions for you to follow. Follow these only after you've foiled the traitor. Silver gets Kronos controlled by Mogul, ends up back in the past. Tails' dad wants to talk to him. Tails is rebuilding the tornado. You fought in the Great War. How do you handle when someone's so close to you? Tails goes into his father's arms. You take it one day at a time. You live your life as best you can and pick up where you wear off. Whereas Rosemary, she's dealing with government business. It breaks her heart because she'd much rather be here for you. Turns out, Nagas is overseeing a motion to exile Nicole from the city. And they're like, can we even run the city with the nanites? And it's like, yes, we can. And Nicole is like, the city can function without me. I would be at Freedom HQ. I would be required for new buildings or with the defensive measures within the city. And Nagas is like, I'm the defense measures that are only needed in the city. Everyone other than Rotor votes yay. Rotor is like, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. I'm not going to let the city lose another freedom fighter. I still vote nay, but since it doesn't seem to carry any weight, I resign out of protest. This council and the citizens, it just betrayed one of them. Rotor resigns, and is like, you still are my friend, Sally. I don't care if the whole city's gone crazy. You're still a freedom fighter. You're still my friend. And Sonic has locked himself in his room and is just playing guitar. Amy tries to see him, because if I help everyone else deal with their grief, I won't be busy to. It's okay, Amy. We're here for you now. Sonic is here with Mutski. Sonic's reflecting on being rude to Antoine. These are all references back to specific comics, hilariously enough. You may remember back when issue 4 when Sonic went supersonic, and he put a whoopee cushion under Antoine. Sonic's like, at least I can be there for my friends. He sees Silver. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't really have patience for this today. Go sell your brand of crazy somewhere else. And Silver's like, don't worry, I know who the traitor is. And Sonic's like, I'm closing the window. It's Antoine. and Sonic just fucking spin dashes him, grabs him by the hair, drags him through town all the way to the hospital, throws him in, and is like, look, there's Antoine. Antoine, there's your traitor. He saved the life of the real king the other day, had Metal Sonic self-destruct in his face. Dr. Quack says that if he comes out of that coma, he might understand how much of a hero he was. And Silver's like, but what? And Sonic finds the note from Bunny, and Bunny blames herself for Antoine and left for somewhere. Maybe she's the one since she's gone, and Sonic is on the edge of fucking snapping. Listen, there is no traitor. I believe in my friends. I believe you're a flake. Each of them is 100 times the hero you want to be. Now get out. Go home. I can't. I'm stranded here. Then get out of my sight. St. John shows up to salute Antoine. You had me in the courtroom, Commander. You had me from the beginning. Come back to us soon so I can say it to your face, man to man. Sonic's like, what the fuck are you doing? And St. John is like, just because we're on different sides, I can't respect my adversary. My condolences for losing the woman of your life, by the way. Changes how you look at the world. No. Silver managed to predict one thing: the freedom fighters are done. Harvey, who stumbles across Silver, talks to him for a little bit and is like, oh, you're the time-traveling hedgehog. He's like, what if you could use your power and help out without affecting the history books? And Silver's like, I'd love to do that. He gets recruited for the secret freedom fighters. Issue number 37. This has some interesting stuff in it. This is Sonic Universe. This is a Robotnik story. We're getting a Robotnik story now. Turns out Snively is finally making his move. Who knows these two robots, by the way? Orbot and Qbot. I think they're from Sonic X. Porbler seems to know them. And I think they're also in like the modern games, some of them. I think Sonic Colors was the first time they show up. Oh no, X was Boko and Deco. You're right. You're 100% right. Sorry. Or these two were from the recent games. I thought they were also from Sonic X, but yeah, Boko and Deco are the ones from Sonic X. You're right. This is them being brought in. Snively is doing his treachery. Scratch and Grounder are with Mammoth Mogul. Turns out Snively broadcast a message. Attention, Grandmasters, the Dark Egg Legion is over. Sonic the Hedgehog is boarded the station, finished off the Doctor, crashing into the ocean as we speak. As my final act on disbanding the Dark Egg Legion, fend for yourselves, disperse. Robotnik's like, find Snively. We get Robotnik's vehicles here. Who remembers some of these? This is the ship from Sonic 2. From the end, when Launch Base, he leaves Launch Base and heads to the Death Egg. There's the Turtle Robot where he was crazy still and attacked looking for Sonic. There's the Egg Phoenix. Snively's like, oh, this is happening faster than I anticipated. They catch a Snively. Sorry, sir, will never happen again. It explodes. And it's like, huh, it exploded. Now we've got to capture on deck 4 and 15, the men's room and the ladies' room. He's going to be in trouble for that one. Turns out Snively released robotic duplicates of himself all over the ship, and they were meant to, when they get caught, self-destruct. Snively, meanwhile, escapes in the Sonic 2 spaceship. And Robotnik is like, use your teleporters to bring me all of the Dark Egg Legion. I want them in the conference room now. The robots are like, we don't have much power, and Robotnik's like, I don't fucking care. So we have this pretty good shot of all the Grandmasters reacting to the info. You seem to be in good spirits, sir. Just got some very good news, Matilda. Busy prepping a speech for the rest of the chapter. Things are finally looking up for us. Boom! Meanwhile, fucking Drago and Razorclaw are arguing over who gets to lead everyone. You may notice Drago grabbing the hand of a cat, as he is apt to do. Boop! The Snake Lord Hood in the Mercian Grandmaster. Boop! Africa Plains Diesel Biker Grandmaster. Boop! Down Under, Bill Platypus. Bill Platypus is writing a speech. He's like, I can't wait to be over with the charade. No more capturing monsters. No more playing the bad guy. No more. Boom! Iron Fortress, Conquering Storm, Grandmaster, and Raiju Clan Bride is fighting one of the bat things. Boop! The fucking orca from the North Sea, Akalut Grandmaster. We serve the Empire no more, my warriors. Let the blood in your veins being colder than the ice above us. None shall. Boop! The fucking overlander guy who's been turned into a cyborg. Boom! Deep Underground. This is a deep fucking cut. Who fucking remembers issue number 10? Who remembers the Nerbs from issue number 10? The Nerbs were these underground dudes who just, like, they were called the Nerbs, and they're like, kind of look like lemmings, and they just dig underground, and that they were only in issue number 10. They turns out they've been Dark Legionnaire too, as the Foreman Nerb Grandmaster gets voiped as well. All of the Egg Master Legions are here, including the Orca underwater. And Leonda's like, you fucking teleported me down the hall. Robotnik is like, I'm not dead. And your cybernetics are rigged to explode if I give a voice command. You're all one command prompt away from being permanently retired. I sent a signal for anybody to reply. Nobody did. Is there a reason you've chosen to disobey me? And the Baron is like, we got word that Snively had said that the Empire had fallen. You believed him? You thought I'd grant any of you freedom in my demise? I legionized you. I sponsored you. I empowered you. I own you. You will serve the Dark Egg Legion and the Empire till the day you die. Or I grow tired of you. Same thing. The robots are handing out tea and cookies. It was all a trick by Snively? Why? Don't know yet. Pa, you cannot control your chief underling. You are not fit to command any of us. Robotic's like, oh, so you want me just to open this hatch and let you fly back to the ocean? Is that what you want? You wanted me to drop you from orbit? Huh? You think you'll survive that? I also reward loyalty. Take Leonda, for example. She could have seized control during the technical difficulties earlier, but she did not. What are you doing? Being good host to our guests. Oh, fine. Leonda will receive her choice of location for her chapter's reassignment. Robotnik is also like, look, our emerald is missing. If you find the emerald and bring it back to me, or any emerald, you will be handsomely rewarded. Try to keep it, and your punishment will be legendary. And the bride of the Ragu clan is like, if you continue to just teleport us whenever you want, it'll be difficult to fulfill your wishes. Robotnik's like, oh, yeah, I also have a fucking Metal Sonic army that I'm going to be using to enforce my will. I don't think anyone wants a hideous reward. Oh, my stars, is that Princess Sally? And look at Drago is just laughing, pointing and laughing. It is roboticized and weaponized by me personally. As you can see, quite contrary to Snively's little fib, I'm winning this war. You have your orders, get back to work. He teleports them all back home. They're like, Snively didn't disable his tracker. Robotnik fires the spaceship that is just the mustache of the Death Egg that is also a ship. It was nice to see all the Dark Egg branches. This is Flynn fleshing out the world more. Turns out the human guy, Robotnik, is like, you're just boring. He's attacking Gun. which is why Omega is here helping defend with Gunn. Snively is going here because he's wanting to find Hope. He's like, I just want to talk. Hope is like, he stops her from hitting the alarm button. Hope's like, I saw what you did to Knothole. Now they're doing the same to Central City. And Snively's like, no, I convinced you to leave Knothole. I'm not involved with what's going on outside. I came to talk to you. Please hear me out. Hope is like, fine. Remember, Hope is the half-sister of Snively. What happens is, while Robotnik is attacking, Snively is like, look, we have the same father. That doesn't matter. He's gone. You know the truth now, and we can finally be together. Turns out the guys from Station Square, remember the guy, the elite force from fucking Sonic Adventure 2, they've been legionized. They're part of the Robotnik's Overlander Legion. More action scenes. Snively is like, you're so smart, Hope. You know, you need to join me and go to the Dragon Kingdom. We'll rescue Regina and start over. And then he's like, and we'll topple him for his throne once for all. We'll take Egg over the Eggman Empire. We'll all of Mobius. You and I can rule the world as one big happy family. She slaps Snively and is like, I thought you had actually changed, but there's not a shred of decency in you. You miserable, hateful, evil man. You're not my brother in any shape or form. I'm staying here and I'm helping the commander stop you and Eggman in any way I can. Snively yells at her, and Hope demonstrates the flame shield that she just developed from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And sets off the alarm. Snively leaves. Hope cries. As Snively leaves, the Robotnik also leaves. He's like, I can destroy the United Federation at any time. So he just leaves, starts chasing. Omega checks in on Hope. I'm never going to have a normal life. I'm never going to have a family again. They're there. Please do not leak anymore. As Omega can't really be. I'm sorry. I was not built to comfort. Snively continues to escape for Robotnik. Issue number 39. Robotnik is here in the Dragon Kingdom, and the Conquering Storm is like, oh, you'll like this then, Game Authant. Conquering Storm is like, look, I agreed to be legionized so that my people would not be legionized, and Robotnik is like, I don't care. All of you is going to be legionized, otherwise I will wipe your clan off the map. So by the next time I come back from here, I will expect all of you to be legionized. Snively shows up and brings down T to Regina Ferrum, the Iron Queen, who remember he's in love with. She is like, I'm at the bottom of a well. What the fuck did you do? You betrayed me. When the first sign of trouble, you went back to Eggman. When were Orbart and Cubot introduced to the comics? At literally 2 issues ago. Right here. Page 2, or page 3 of issue number 37. Hello, Zed. Literally, were just introduced. I don't care what your plan is. The minute it'll go awry, you'll go crawling back to him. But Regina, my queeniekins, just leave me alone. I'd rather rot in here than have you disgrace me again. Snively pulls himself back up. Robotnik is here, but so is she. My love, no more running. I've made preparations. I will do this. I will do this for her. This guy is just seeing the Robotnik thing, just dropping things on the Dragon Kingdom, is like, what the fuck? Monkey Khan shows up to help, finds the roboticized Sally. She's been roboticized. Princess X, Egg Sally, Acorn Annihilator, the Princess Assassin. What do you think? Mecha Sally. Haven't come up with a good code name for her. Anyway, attack. And Robotnik's like, we'll just capture all of you and stuff you full of and burn your village to the ground. Uh, Goes and talks to Regina. Is like, hey, yeah, how do you like being in the bottom of a pit? You're looking well. Have you seen Snively? He's not here. That's not what I asked you. Did you stop by? I'm not telling you anything. I'll take that as a yes. Robotnik's like, why did Snively show up and then leave you? I was expecting that he did love you. Sally runs out of juice. Monkey Khan is like, what the fuck did you do? And Robotnik's like, oh yeah, she's powered by power rings now. And if she runs out, she dies. So you have to use your crown to save her. And then Monkey Khan sacrifices his crown, which you remember the crown is protecting him from the mind control. Puts it in. Mecha Sally gets put back online. Robotnik puts a new command crown on Monkey Khan to gain control of him. Turns out Snively has found this ancient fucking robot and is using it to smash things and uses it to pull Regina out. Oh, it is absolutely evil. Fucking Robotnik is fucking evil in this. He's so fucking evil. I told you my love. I'm done with Eggman. I've come for you. They kiss. Let us never fight again. That not be natural. And he's like, we will fight you, Dr. Robotnik. And Robotnik's like, finally, our showdown. Issue number 40, Sonic Universe. We have Honey the cat is actually portrayed here because this is meant to be kind of a reference to Sonic the Fighters. There's Honey the cat, who will actually show up in the IDW comics. Robotnik is like, you failed, Snively, and I have mind-controlled Monkey Khan. And Monkey Khan, he orders to fight, but fucking Regina, with her techno magic, since Monkey Khan doesn't have his crown, she just takes him over because this is what she does whenever he doesn't have his power ring crown. She turned Monkey Boy a lot faster than I thought she would. Oh well, now for plan B, throw it a roboticized chipmunk at the monkey. And don't destroy him. He should have been mine from the start. He gets his ship, gets his Robotnik fighting mech. Now for plan C, get a load of this. He and Snively fight. Robotnik rewires it. Also, the reason why this mech, by the way, you brought your own tomb, Doctor. Forget Khan. Every circuit in there is mine to control. What circuits? This baby is made from ceramics, plastics, and it's run on precision-aligned tension cords. It's immune to your magic. That is why Robotnik is here fighting in this robot suit, is because he literally made a robot suit that is made from nothing electronic, so that way Regina can't gain control of it with her techno magic. And that's why he destroys the Iron Oni. Monkey Khan's mind control gets broken. Threat no longer detected, going to emergency standby mode to prevent further damage. Monkey Khan is like, I'm here, Sally. Robotnik's like, yeah, I'm taking Mecha Sally back so I can repair her. Been a long, tiring... You're quite the terror when you're under the Queenie's control. Should be proud, no? Too bad. With this damage and without a power ring, you're not strong enough to take me on. I know. I'm the only one who can repair the love of your life. I know. It's been a long, tiring day, and I don't feel like cleaning up. So unlike last time, you can have all the villagers I imprisoned. I'll terrorize them another day. You'll want to do something about those fires, As soon as I'm healed. As soon as the people are safe, I'm coming for you. All that will be left with you is a bad memory. Oh, keep telling yourself that, monkey boy. Regina wakes up on the egg craft, and she's like, finish me off and be through with it. It's not what I meant. If I believed in your romance, I could have kept you too happily at bay while getting my work done. Normally I try to deny you both to get my way, but I think I'll try a different tactic this time. Regina, darling, I don't understand. You're showing us mercy? Mercy, you're gonna be living with the runt. That's punishment enough. I'm putting you both in charge of this Legion chapter. You'll be in charge of the robotically purposed gun tech and legionized egg paladins. I don't believe it. Thank you very so much, sir. I already expect you to follow orders, but I'm no fool. I expect you to play the game just as well, just play it better. You should follow Linda's example. It's been fun, you two, but I've got a hedgehog destroy. Hugo, you've been demoted. Play nice with Regina. He leaves Regina in control of the legionized overlanders. She's like, this is great. I have machinery at my beck and call. I have Cybermen. Doctor just handed this keys to destruction. Oh, darling, this is wonderful. We'll be so happy. Yes, dear, whatever you say. Now notice her techno magic is on Snively's head because that's one of the Snively robots. That's one of the Snively robot duplicates from 3 issues ago. Where's Snively actually? And so you see, in the end, it all works out pretty well. For me, the Dark Egg Legion is even under my thumb than before. Gun suffered heavy losses. The UF is shaken. While I know that a little turncoat Hope is with them, I can direct the Legion to single her out. I'm sure that makes you happy. I freshened up the Grandmaster roster, terrorized some Mobians, broken heroic morale across the board. Best of all, you brought your A game and I still won. Thanks to those infiltrator copies you made of yourself, Regina thinks you'll be at her side. She'll be quite content with an ever-obedient you, so I doubt she'll figure it out, not immediately anyway. As for you, nobody knows you're here except me, and it's going to stay that way for the rest of your life. Game over, Snively. Thanks for playing. Snively, beaten and bruised, is locked in an egg capsule somewhere, and Robotnik is the only one who knows about him. Snively is functionally gone. Robotnik is evil. The punchline of we are at 236 back in the normal Sonic comics. Robotnik is commenting that the roboticizer is currently broken, and that turns out half the planet is still immune to the roboticizer. And he's like, when I capture an area, I will roboticize everyone who I can. Everyone who I can't, I will legionize. So that way, everyone is turned into a robot or is cybernetic. Depending on how many comics are left in the Archie run, Zed is commenting something very important. I'm gonna drink a little bit here. Anyway, this is Furville. Furville was last mentioned in a long time ago as remember that issue where there was a giant caterpillar and like Sonic like phased through it using the flash powers. That was heading towards Furville. That's just again another cut from fucking Flynn. Sonic is feeling demoralized and remembering Scourge's words. Tails and Amy snap him out of it, saying you didn't quit, and Sonic's like, yeah, you're right, we didn't quit. Rotor explains he resigned out of protest and he is here to help. With 4 of us, we can't watch the city and chase Dr. Eggman. Like you said, we need to come up with something new. Robotnik is stealing all of the denizens of Furville. No one is stopping him. Sonic and Rotor propose an idea to the council, and Rotor demonstrates his nanite suit. Basically, the council votes the formation of 2 new teams, Team Freedom and Team Fighters. Team Freedom is a group of warriors that are basically staying home to protect the home front. Team Fighters are an ultra-mobile team designed to chase after Dr. Robotnik and stop him wherever he is. Team Fighters is Sonic, Amy, and Tails. Team Freedom, we will learn about in a moment, the council all votes for it. Sonic and Team Fighters are stopping Robotnik from Furville, and Robotnik goes into retreat. We're rapidly losing prisoners and ground forces, boss. If my estimate, if we leave now, we'll just have just enough power to escape and refuel. And fine, do it. They also attached a tracking beacon to Robotnik so that way they could know where he was at all times. Team Fighters or Team Freedom. Team Freedom is Rotor, Big, Cream, and Heavy and Bomb. Remember Heavy and Bomb? They were Heavy and Bomb were from Knuckles Chaotix. They rebelled against Robotnik originally, and then Robotnik rebuilt them. And turns out Rotor's rebuilt them again, and they are loyal to. They are wanting opposed to Robotnik. The rest of the citizens believe I'm enough to protect them. Who are this? What? A child and the simpleton? My name is Big. Of course it is. It turns out the remember that Tails doll that Cream found? It just suddenly activates and this building starts collapsing. Team Freedom helps protect everyone, and Naugus was arguing with his brain demons the entire time. And he's like, Nicole's nanites betray us once again. And Rotor's like, if we had Nicole here, then nanites would have never been a problem. I will investigate the earth beneath, made treacherous by the Armada's assault, and in the shadows, perhaps I'll find a means to solve my problems in the council and the fickle temperament of my people. Naugus is planning something. Issue number 237. Robotnik is wanting to refuel back in the South America. The princess, oh, tell me, my dear minion, how would you go about ruining the peace your fleshy self worked so hard to create? The peace between the Wolf Pack Nation and Pious Master Asano is tenuous and maintained only by their matriarchs. Remove the leaders, leave room for suspicion. The two groups will turn on each other. Robotnik's like, oh, I would have carpet bombed them, but you know, this is a much better idea. Do it. And so Mecha Sally shows up and kidnaps Lupa, and then kidnaps the Queen of the Felidae. Everyone of the Wolf Pack is like, something's going up. The elders are talking. Turns out our leader Lupe is gone. We think the Egg Legion is behind it. Turns out the Queen of the Felidae is trying to escape the Dark Egg Legion. Team Freedom or Team Fighters show up, and you may remember that the Felidae have the entire thing where their clothing gives their rank. We are in I'm not the queen. I am but a humble emissary, and the queen and the grand chief are in terrible danger. Sonic, isn't this the queen? No, you see, their culture is based entirely on clothing, and the queen's robe means she's not the queen right now. Threw me off at first. I too got this. Hey there, emissary Hathor. I'm Ambassador Sonic. You remember me by my socks. Can you clue us what happened to Queen and Lupe? The ambassador or the emissary lets note that they basically worked together to get the queen to escape, but the queen didn't have her clothing. Turns out the Felidae are like, what the fuck? And the emissary is like, what? I'm not bearing the queen's authority, but I'm the emissary. We are not to fight the Wolf Pack. And they're like, we need to rescue Lupe. If I were you, buddy, I'd stay down till all this blew over. I will gut you like a fish. You charmer. We should hang out more. Robotnik's like, I'm just gonna legionize you. How about that? And then we have a comic that is about Mina Mongoose talking to Nicole. Mina Mongoose is apologizing for what she did. We need the city back. We need you back, please. The city is barely coping without you. I'm here. I'm where I can hurt no one. I am where no one can hurt me. I've been exiled. You got just what you wanted. And she's like, please come back. No, I failed my friends. I could not save Sally. I was not there for Antoine. I watched Bunny leave. And Mina's like, I failed you. And Nicole shows up and talks with Nicole for a while and apologizes, and they make up. Turns out Harvey, who was there listening and wants to recruit Nicole into the secret freedom fighters.
Are you prepared for the kind of death you've earned, little man?
Issue number 238. Robotnik is about to legionize Lupe. The alarm goes off. They fight. They fight. They fight. They fight. They fight. Fight, 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 fight. That technically is lore. Game Mothon is correct. That is technically lore. Not data, it is lore. Lore fooled me again. Robotnik is refueling 6 Mecha Sally on the team fighters. Action. The Queen is trying to stop the Felidae and the Wolfpack from fighting. And Robotnik's like, and Sally's like, divide and conquer. So Robotnik's like, why don't we say we paying your soon-to-be late brother a visit? The Wolfpack and the Felidae agree to not fight. These 2 members of the Wolfpack are told by Lupe that she was asked for them to go help out with something. Harvey, who is outlining the secret base that Nicole has built for the secret freedom fighters. Who's part of the secret freedom fighters? We have Uncle Chuck, who you remember was the part of whose spy team. As I said, he was, back when he was roboticized, he was working on a spy network. Who is this? This is Shard. Shard is the original Metal Sonic. Hello, Bear. Shard is the original Metal Sonic. You remember that Metal Sonic that, kidnapped Tails and then, Sonic and them, fought for a while and was like, you can overcome your programming, and Metal Sonic stopped the lava flow from destroying Sonic and Tails? Turns out that Metal Sonic was actually salvaged. That crystal, he had that distinctive crystal in his chest, that was saved, and Uncle Chuck has been building him a new body. Who else happens to join the Secret Freedom Fighters? Who remembers Larry Lynx? Larry Lynx, the guy that is extremely unlucky and has an anti-luck aura that causes everyone around him to have horrible luck. Kind of looks like Bubsy, it's true. This is Larry Lynx. Larry Lynx has been recruited to join the Secret Freedom Fighters. Again, Flynn is deep cuts. Flynn loves deep cuts of characters. He loves it. Because again, he's using this universe. He's using this incredibly interesting, created universe of characters, and he's just pulling them out, and he's like, let's use them. Let's use these characters. We have so many of them. Have fun with them. Issue number 239. They're chasing after Robotnik. Robotnik is attacking the village that Ilias is at. Also drops off a Silver Sonic. Sends Mecha Sally to go destroy her brother. You remember this guy, the dog guy? He was from when Sonic and company showed up at the floating island, and this dog guy was one of the like former generals to King Acorn, and was protecting Elias and the royal compound and overseeing the cryogenically frozen Queen Acorn. He's back. He's he's willing to give his life to help protect King Elias and their child. Turns out the secret freedom fighters show up. There's Larry Lynx and there's one of the two wolf girls. Fucking clocks Mecha Sally. Mecha Sally grabs him by the chest and slams him to a wall. Action. 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 Target lost. He's just fucking beating up robots with his fucking bare knuckles. They're using like an axe and spear and a sword. And primary and secondary objectives failed, returning the Death Egg for her next assignment. Robotnik starts heading towards New Mobotropolis. Team Freedom, this is what we're here for. Hello, Terran. Issue number 240. They're trying to notify that the Death Egg is coming. Turns out Death Egg is already there. We still have the force field. Tails doll activates, melts down the power shield generator. If you haven't figured it out yet, Tails doll is a thing devised by Robotnik to sabotage New Mobotropolis from within. Team Freedom pushed them out of the city. The secret freedom fighters and Ilias are here. Harvey, who is outlining who is members of the team. We have the Lita and Lyco, twin agents of the Wolfpack Nation. Larry Lynx, freedom fighter with a luck-bending aura, his super jinx can turn any situation against our enemies. Shard, the original Metal Sonic repurposed for our cause. Needless to say, his power bolsters our power tenfold. And Silver, our time-traveling psychic powerhouse. What Shard can't handle, Silver most likely can. Are you crazy? He's like, none of these have a vested interest in the Republic. And Harvey, who is like, it's exactly who we need, and you are joining the team as well. Big is helping protect Cream. Schroeder's like, Cream, help people evacuate. Naugus is like, I'm here to help. Gets attacked by his brain demons. It's the doctor. He must be sending some sort of wave to vex me. I guess not saving you would be treason. He's saved by the fat walrus. Disgraceful and such a pathetic lie. Big carries off Naugus, because remember, Naugus is breaking apart due to the Genesis wave. More action. Mecha Sonic, Mecha Tails, or Metal Sonic, Metal Tails, Metal Amy. Secret freedom fighters are helping out on their own as well. Misfire. And it's a gun jam. You know, the secret freedom fighters are helping out, as well as Team Freedom. More action. Naugus is like, I have to do something soon. Issue number 41 of Sonic Universe, Secret Freedom, Part 1 of 4. And you may notice here, again, there's Sonic Universe Volume 3, Knuckles Returns. They're still selling these compilation comics.
Knock, knock, it's Knuckles.
It is Knuckles. So this is just a lot of action. Turns out they're following Jeffrey St. John. Jeffrey St. John is here to get Something, their action, they set off all the traps. Jeffrey St. John takes something here and is like, I'm being chased. They took the remains of one of the Ixis warriors. Turns out he was trying to get out. St. John fights Shard. St. John manages to escape. Naugus has dug a series of Oh yeah, once Yardley showed up, they started hiring Sonic fan artists. They literally started hiring Sonic DeviantArt fan artists. So of course you're getting people that knew how to draw Sonic characters and shit, because, like, look at this. Hydrate, I will. Jim, hey Jim. Little shout out Jim Goblin. Good friend Jim Goblin. Naugus, meanwhile, is being chased by the other half of the team of the Secret Freedom Fighters. He's made a bunch of tunnels, and you cannot hide intruders. There is no escape. Issue number 42. They were following Naugus. Turns out Naugus keeps going to the edge of the fucking super deep crater. Remember in the Babylon Rising comics earlier today, that big fucking hole got blasted in the ground. Turns out Naugus is going into the big hole. Realizes someone is following him, and so hides his path as he goes in. The wolves showed up and were like, we were told that we recruited for something, and that's when Uncle Chuck pulls them away and brings them to Harvey Who. Naugus is involved. We go down a hole and still have panel art. Get this fucking big fins wolf people. Naugus has built a big chamber of for some kind of ritual, and is again fighting his inner demons and is who's there as he's breaking out into his elemental magic. Where are you? Who are you? You cannot hide intruders. There's no escape. You'll take my secret to your graves. What in the world happened to him? They escape from Fire Naugus. Naugus is like, they're probably dead. They fell down a pit. Issue number 43. We had a flashback to Ixis Mogul. Turns out there was Flynn is fleshing this out with the Ixis, saying that there was like a war between them, basically. And so you can imagine like how bad a wizard war would be when they can both control elemental forces. And that's basically what Mogul is talking about. Back with Shard, Larry, and Silver, they're fine. St. John arrives to Ixis Naugus with the remains. Ixis Naugus is like, I have made a amplifying chamber. Basically, I'm going to use the ancient remains to cast one of our Order's most potent spells. On we are into the Royal Military Headquarters, where the weak-minded, short-sighted Council of Acorn gathers. Soon my will replace theirs. With absolute control of the government, I will command the people to as I see fit and rebuild the Order of Ixis. The city will become my army, and none will be able to stand against us. St. John is like, no, I supported you because I thought you could do positive. You were still a step up from the acorns. You've got to cross a few lines to make things change, but this goes too far. Who are you to lecture on mortality or morality? You've spent your life lying, stealing, and betraying everyone you've ever met to serve me. How do you plan to defy me? You can't defeat me on your own. No freedom fighter will trust you. My way is the only option left to you. Very good. I will forgive this lapse in judgment. You wanted peace and protection from the kingdom. No, with my Ixis magics and the guiding hand, my citizens will know a new age of prosperity. With the city to my thrall, I'll have time to cure myself of whatever Eggman did to awaken the ghosts within me. Your journey has been long and tiring, apprentice. Rest for now. Later, I'll have you search the bottom pit for the bodies of the fools who tried to spy on me earlier. St. John is having a change of heart, finally. St. John is like, what have I been fucking doing? Ixis Naugus is not, even though the acorns are fucking garbage, the acorns at least didn't try to use magic to mind control everyone. Harvey Who is like, we gotta do something. The other team didn't come back. Flynn is really good at continuing to write St. John as someone who you want to hate. And you have to keep in mind that, Penders thought that St. John was so cool and that, like, everyone should love Jeffrey St. John, but, like, St. John spies on the secret freedom fighters, realizes the gem is Metal Sonic's power core, because he's the one that recovered it originally. This is the remains of the Metal Sonic, the original Metal Sonic. He saved the crystal, and when Robotnik returned, I made a point of stealing the core back. I didn't want him recovering his best creation. Turned out to be handy when Sir Charles was supposed to make Metal Sonic Troopers, and not like he left that little bit of info circulate. Remember, St. Charles, while Sonic was blasted across space, made the Metal Sonic robots to help protect. So a bunch of covert agents with Metal Sonic's backed up. Either Charles or Rotor is playing double agent, or both. There's only one old bird who's crazy enough to pull something like this. St. John pieces it together. Silver is like, look, I know what it's like to throw everything into a plan with the best intentions for it to well fall apart. Jeffrey says he wants a better government for his people, and most of his life he grew up on Naugus' teachings. I think he was out to do good, and maybe this isn't turning out like he planned. It's hard to back out of a thing like that, and he doesn't have a team to fall back on like I do now. Ellie's is like, fine, talk to Jeffrey St. John. If he doesn't cooperate, we'll move in. The next day, Silver goes to talk to Silver. And is like, hey, sorry about, burying you alive. Silver's like, oh, what, huh, what? And you wanted to talk, sit, talk. And Silver is like, look, I know that you never intentionally bring harm to the city or its citizens. I think you'll do what you think is right. Now, I know whatever Nogs is cooking up isn't right. I'm sure your wife would agree. Low blow, I know, but you know what I mean. She wouldn't have been bored with any of this. You're right, but it's too late for me, kid. You can still save the city. Tell me, Naugus is casting a spell tonight as the council gathers to ratify the new constitution. To do what? Take control of them, probably. Everyone in the room, too. Don't let it happen. Wait, help us. Like I said, it's too late for me. You've got a future to save. I don't. See you around, kid. They're like, okay, we know what Naugus is doing. We have to stop him. Get ready to stop Naugus, save the city, or die trying. Issue number 44. Naugus is preparing his spell. Larry Lynx is using his bad luck to cause everyone to be unable to meet for the ratifying of the Constitution. Of course, if Nicole was here, we still wouldn't have this problem. And we just seemed we're locked out of the building. Can't ratify the Constitution if we can't get what's inside. The secret freedom fighters attack, plant some bombs. They fight. They go in to ratify the Constitution. They lost the Constitution. It's not lost, just misplaced. Yes, everybody go home and look for it. Again, Larry Lynx is just causing his bad luck aura to go awry. Jeffrey St. John realizes that Elias is one of the agents. They continue to not be able to ratify the Constitution due to blowing a fuse. It requires the king. We don't have the majority of the council and the king. You always complain when Sonic doesn't follow the policy. Silver and Naugus fight. He destroys the remains. St. John leaves Naugus to perish. Naugus survives. St. John was like, no, I was trying to catch the enemy agents. Of course, I live to serve. You play for sympathy. You were investigating instability of the ground while caught in a cave-in. You saved the city from collapse. We must help from the shadows. We must give up what we want the most. Harvey Who finally is like, I've figured out who the traitor to the freedom fighters is. Here it is. And I can tell you why. Silver joined so that way he could find out who the traitor to the
Poggers
freedom fighters were. Harvey Who tells him who it is. Issue number 241. Remember Krudzu? Remember the Krudzu hybrid Hydra from the last Free Comics Books Day? Turns out that survived. Robotnik is planning on using it. Mina Mongoose' mom is elected to the council to help serve. Motion to overturn Nicole's exile. Naugus is like, I feel ill, summon me if you need a tie-breaking vote. Turns out the Krudzu was used to take over the giant metal Sonic from Knuckles Chaotix again. Naugus is trying to find someone to use as a host. Naugus tried to talk to King Acorn. Maximilian Acorn was like, no. Goes to go talk to Sonic's dad and Sonic's mom and is like, hey, I can use my magic to turn you into flesh and blood again, as I did with Bunny. And Sonic's dad is like, no, fuck you. No, sire, I'll not be taking you on your offer. There's the door. Please conjure your way through it. Naugus is like, I'm running out of time. More action sequences. He's here to help to oversee this council or this concert by Mina Mongoose. Turns out Tails doll is continuing to cause problems. Naugus is still falling apart. You gonna make it? Yes, apprentice, you saved me. You are loyal. I shouldn't be. I believed you could do good for the city. Quirks aside, you told me to be strong and self-reliant. I thought you could bring those ideals to Mobotropolis. Watch your words. No, you listen to mine. You betrayed the city with your stupid stunt you pulled underground. It's a miracle you were stopped. You're sick, you're twisted, and you're wrong. I'm no better. It makes me a lousy person to judge. Look, I don't know what it was like in the Order of Ixis. All the lies and the backstabbing might have been needed then. It served me as a spy, but the days are behind us. The city's full of charitable, forgiving folks. It is the one place in the world blokes like us can get our guards down and truly do good. So are you so naive as to think they would offer us their trust to offer redemption? You heard the crowd. They're ready to bring back Nicole. I arrested Sonic once and he put it behind him for pity's sake. My point is, I know you're sick. I know you've been since Eggman did his whiteout attack. Instead of trying to trick your way through it, how about asking for help just this once? And his ghosts are like, Oh, we've reached a consensus. Dear Jeffrey, you've reminded me of what I forgot. Sir, you swore your allegiance years ago. You entered into a contract at the beginning. You will serve as my vessel. No, let go of Ag. Ixis Naugus has taken over Jeffrey as his vessel. Nicole was unexiled from the city. Was it really unanimous? It is now. My master is too ill to spend today, but tends his full support of your return. He does. He also sent me out to confess a terrible secret he's kept from all of you. He is dying, and in his despair, he tried to take on all he could to serve the city to fullest to his last hours. It's taken me quite a while, but I got him to see his old ways were flawed and how together we may save his life so that he may serve you better. Will you help me to help him? He did that. He did that in the past. He did that to the past because he took over King Acorn. You may remember a long fucking time ago, he took over King Acorn with his Ixis magic. He can do that. He that is within his power list. Turns out Albion has already been destroyed by Robotnik. Sonic Universe 45. All this is a Sonic, or is a Sega All-Star Racing, Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing Transformed tie-in. This entire issue is just a tie-in to that. The entire issue is just a tie-in because Sega wanted a tie-in. And Sega also wanted to tie in issue number 242. It's the Olympics. It's the Olympics, everybody. Sonic reaching out for the power ring in the Olympics logo. This is a tie-in to This is a tie-in to the Sonic and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, except they can't actually mention Mario, so it's an Olympic Games tie-in of, look at all these Sega characters you can have play the Olympics. Look at all this stuff. You can have Metal Sonic do ribbon dancing. They're not allowed boxing, gymnastics, rowboating, basketball, shot put, archery. Yay! Yay! The Olympic Games. Yay! Oh, and now we actually have an important comic. Now that all the tie-ins are over. You remember these enemies from Sonic 2? Flynn is again using like badniks and stuff from old games. Knuckles detects that Albion is gone. Notice who isn't here. Dimitri was plugged into the computer here in Haven, but now suddenly isn't. I wonder why he's not here. Sonic Universe number 46. None of them are asking what USA means. I think it means he, she, wears in Spanish. You may remember from the Chaotix that Mighty went out with Ray to try to find his sister. Turns out the Chaotix are trying to follow Mighty's trail. And here we have some new characters. Based off of the based off of the what's the name? Robin Hood. Based off of Robin Hood, Bo Sparrow, Alan Quayle, Munch Rat, Friar Buck, Thorn the Lop. Why are we in Mercia and we have these new characters instead of Rob of the Hedge? Can anyone guess? Rob of the Hedge was a Pender's character. You're not dead. We get the Mercian freedom fighters talk about how they remember Mighty's parents. They are trying to restore the true king to the crown. They're like, we need to break into the Kingdom of Mercia's Dark Egg Legion to find out what happened to Mighty. You remember this snake guy is the leader of the Dark Egg Legion in Mercia. There's just a part of Mobius that really likes the Ren Fair and made a society about it. Yeah, basically. Except there's also roboticized Ren Fair members. Issue number 47, Sonic Universe. Turns out someone named Flex is over here with the Sandblast City freedom fighters. Wonder who this mysterious character is. Back in Mercia, Lord Hood, advisor turned tyrant, get to the dungeons. They're breaking into the computer. The password is just password. They use remember they have the warp ring. They use the warp ring to save everyone. Lord Hood guy has this like sonic attack from his hood. The Chaotix help out. They find out that Mighty's sister left to go to a place called Sandblast City. They help rescue. They rescued the people that were captured by Lord Hood. They nope out with the warp ring, and they find out that they need to go to Sandblast City. Sandblast City sees them approaching, and Jackrabbit wants nothing to do with them. What's up, Croc? Oh, look, it's Flex and Jitters. The Chaotix were captured. They meet up with Mighty and Ray. Mighty and Ray explains what's going on, that he joined the Sandblast City Freedom Fighters so that way he could find out what happened to his sister. The Chaotix are like, we'll help. Mighty is like, you guys can stay here while I go get captured by the Egg Legion here, because apparently that's where my sister is. If I go to them and get captured, I'll be able to find out what happened to my sister. It's that new Armadillo Sandblaster, sir. He's alone and seems to be surrendering. He bench presses tanks and he's given up. Sounds like Jack's sort of humor. Mobilize, take him down. No, they aren't, Zed. They're actually doing something. And oh, look. It's Mighty's sister. It's Mighty's younger sister. Tilly. Mighty hugs her. Mighty explained to the Baron that he's like, look, I'm here for my half-sister, my baby sister. I traveled half the world and infiltrated the Sandblasters. Track her down. I heard you were a fair and decent man, Baron. I'm asking you, do you have my sister? Baron's like, bring me Matilda. There's Matilda. Baron, who is this? Your brother, dear. He wants to know where you've been all this time. Brother, I have no family. I grew up in an orphanage. I was told my family were criminals, executed, or exiled. I had food and shelter there, little else. Years passed. I was alone. The doctor attacked. I was roboticized. I was moved around. I worked. I fought. Not one day I thought I know I was no longer a robot. No robot or not, the sandblasters cast us out. The Baron looked after me. I was legionized. Now I work for the doctor again. That's all. She does not remember Mighty. You mean nothing to me. May I turn in for the night, Baron? Mighty has gone to this entire length to find his sister, only for his sister to not remember him because she never knew him. And Mighty is like, is she happy here? As happy as any of us can be, but we've got good folks in this chapter. We're like one big family in a sense. I've made a point looking after little ones like her. Thank you. Mighty offers to be a prisoner in exchange for prisoner exchange, to help get some of them back in exchange from who some of the Legionnaires Jackrabbit has captured. Jackrabbit wants to know what happened to Mighty. Finds out that the Baron is offering a prisoner exchange. He's like, okay, this time, I think Flex had the right idea. This time we're not giving anybody up, and the Baron ain't going back alive. Issue number 49. Sandblast City freedom fighters go to, along with the Chaotix, for this prisoner exchange. Baron's like, Mighty, we got to put you in this big cage thing, so that way we have an appearance of you actually getting captured. Let's do this prisoner exchange, and then we'll give you back your Mighty. And issue number 49 of Sonic Universe, not 249. This is 49 of Sonic Universe. Not 249. We're only on last issue we just looked at was 242. Jackrabbit. Turns out these were not Legionnaires. It's a setup. Fire all cannons. Let me loose. I can help. You think Jack will ever let you go if your cover's blown? It's already blown. Look, Matilda's rejected me. Don't leave me hanging here to watch her get wrecked. Ray, you're supposed to be somewhere safe. You will not threaten the Baron. Hold on, children shouldn't be fighting like this. Tilly, you're his sister? So he says, the Baron agrees. I suppose it's true then. And Ray is like, then let's go. I have no home. I have no feelings for this brother. Do what you want, but leave me alone. She doesn't remember anything. She's too roboticized, too young. And Ray is like, I was left behind. I know what it's like to lose everyone and then be brought into a family. He's trying to bring you into his family. He wants the same for you. So you don't remember him, so what? You remember being alone, right? Scared? He won't ever leave you again. How can you not want that? He will always be there for you, like he was always there for me. They're like, oh, we're gonna shoot Mighty. And Tilly intercepts with a punch. Hey, Pixel. Pixel, you suddenly got something next to your name. What's that? That's artist? I wonder why Pixel Butts has an artist tag next to his name. Mighty sees Tilly get hit from punching a rocket, flips out, fucking throws an engine at the car. The sandblasters run. Tilly is fine. And is like, thank you, welcome to the family. The Baron is like, I know what it's like to lose family. Tilly will be safe here. And we'll be able to unify once Robotnik is gone. You've got to find family, Matilda. We'll get you healed up and back to them as soon as we can. Thank you, Baron. Think of nothing of it, sweetheart. If there's anything I know, It's the pain of a family divided. Who is this mysterious rabbit-like figure? I wonder. Issue number 243, Endangered Species, Part 1. Okay. This is something big. Robotnik arrives at Albion. The kid is in Albion are like, there's a big egg in the sky. Robotnik unleashes Metal Knuckles. Metal Knuckles is actually is reference from fucking Sonic R. Stop wrecking my plane.
Knock, knock, it's Knuckles.
Albion is being attacked by a Dark Egg Legion. Surrender quality, no one gets hurt. Oh, look, it's Constable Remington. Remember Constable Remington? He's fighting the Dark Egg Legion here. He outlines how Leonda invaded with support from Dr. Eggman. Eggman moved on. Leonda stayed behind with all of her troops. The only Eggman tech she kept was that robot version of the Guardian. They've been fighting that. Turns out some of the citizenry has been captured. I didn't realize they're all gone. Leonda reports in. Robotnik is going to the Arctic. Leonda talks to the matriarch, who the matriarch is Knuckles' mom, Lara Lee. Leonda's like, I will be your new matriarch. I will lead us to a new age of prosperity. Argues with Knuckles' mom. And is like, you wouldn't be half as pompous if you knew Knuckles was. We're under attack. The Echidna civilians are being rescued. This automated defense system or something pops up. Starts electrifying people. Starts paralyzing people. The egg legionnaires are empowered by it. Leonda, due to her cybernetics, now has this like laser whip thing. When Eggman rebuilt me, do you think he'd just stop at my pretty face? I've got too much at stake to let you ruin things now. You're dead, Hedgehog. I'm gonna snooze that ad break. Knuckles gets word that Albion is under attack, decides to use the warp ring to head to Albion. Endangered Species Part 2. Who remembers Thrash the Devil? Thrash the Devil was part of the remade Down Under Freedom Fighters. You may remember he got a warp ring at the end of when Knuckles was in Down Under. And so was Finetivis. Knuckles arrives. There were hundreds of echidnas here. Why can't I find anybody? Earlier, here's a warp ring. Boats can be sunk. Footprints can be tracked, but this is untraceable. Hop on through. You won't need to worry about nothing again. I promise. Flash, is that what it sounds like? He finds the Tasmanian Devil. Finds Tails' ship and Tails' robot. Is like, help me find Tails and everyone. Knuckles and Tails' robot finds Sonic, Amy, and Tails, who have been knocked out by something. Metal Knuckles is also disabled. They're like, what happened? Turns out the electric defenses overloaded when Tails tried to stop them and knocked everyone out. And they're like, where are the echidnas? Where did they all go? Blimey, look at them all. After the years of searching, it's about time we caught ourselves a lucky break. He finds, don't know what all this look in this mess, love, but you look like you got the worst of it. Core blimey, I think that's Sonic the Hedgehog. What are you doing here, I wonder? Another, and he's but a lad. The echidnas bring nothing but misery to everyone, I tells you. Here you go, mates. Rest easily. Let old Thrash take care of everything now. Now then, to clean up the garbage.
Knuckles.
Gets a communication back to Nicole. Nicole is like, I can't reach anyone on the island. I can't reach Julie Sue. Knuckles is like, something is wrong. I thought I saw warp rings. Something is very wrong. Oh, look, Thrash found Finetivis's old records, including how to supercharge a warp ring. That's the last of them. Thrash, you are here. You better have some answers. This is this guy you were talking about a second ago. We were in Down Under. He was helping out the freedom fighters there. Righto, and I took after an old business. I took up me old quest, which is why now all done, thanks in part to you, Knuckles. Thanks to me. You let me keep that warp ring I found after our little adventure in Down Under. Helped me take care of those girls you had posted to the Master Emerald, and that helped me take care of all the echidnas in your homeland. All of where are they? Gone, never to trouble this world again. So thanks, we're even. Thrash, the Tasmanian Devil, has taken all of the echidnas, every single one of them, has thrown them through a warp ring to somewhere, and they're gone. Why are all of the echidnas gone? Ken Penders. Penders, at this point, had fully brought his lawsuit to force. And was in the middle of the massive legal conflict between him and Sega. He also sued EA at the same time, because EA was responsible for the Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood game, which again he claimed was a complete ripping off of his work. The EA case got basically put on hold until the Archie case could be resolved, and then the Archie case resolved so late that the EA case was basically canceled. And Penders can't do anything to sue Electronic Arts because the statute of limitations passed. He can't do anything about suing them until they reuse the game. And that is why Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood is never going to be ported to anything. Turns out Thrash was... We'll find out about Thrash next issue, but Krudzu has taken over Metal Knuckles. I will... At the end of this stream, I will go over all the stuff about Penders and the lawsuit. I promise I will get to that this stream. We just have a couple more issues to go through first. It's funny you say that, Zed, because Sega's agreement with Archie specifically said that Sega owned the characters that all the Archie people made. Sega had that agreement with Archie. The problem was Penders decided he didn't agree with it. I'll go over it. I'll go over it at the end of after I'm done all the comics for today. I promise. I promise I'll get to it. Turns out Krudzu's back. Remember Krudzu? I've mentioned Krudzu a couple times. That's what's happening with Fighting Sonic. Fucking Thrash is saying, you know, they were innocent, so were my people, justice is served, now my job is done, now we're even. Even, how are we even? Because we're both the last of our kind. My kind used to flourish on Down Under, then your people came and turned them into lab experience, and that's the result. The echidnas messed with our genes, trying to create the devil dogs. Nobody remembers why, because not that they had the right to do it all. Mums and dads sired pups instead of babies. Each generation, as we got bred out of existence, who are told the stories of who did this to us. So here we are, the last of the Tasmanian devils and the last of the echidnas. An eye for an eye, mate. They could have helped reverse the damage. Now, because of you, we're both extinct. Don't lay this at my feet. Your kind started all this. Gave them enough time. They do it again. I finished it. I'm still standing, and I'm going to make you bring the echidnas back. The devil dogs were basically devolved by the echidnas in one final brutal act by Penders' echidnas of just doing horrible shit. Knuckles continues to fight Thrash. Krudzu starts fighting. Knuckles goes through the warp ring to follow Thrash. Shard shows up. Issue 246. No one knows why the echidnas devolved the devils. Because the echidnas are assholes. That's why. Because the echidnas are assholes. Penders' echidnas are so horrible. And this is in line for them. Turns out, Team Fighters assumes Thrash is, Metal Sonic. And Krudzu is like, don't ignore me. And Knuckles and Thrash continue to fight and run through warp rings. More action scenes with Krudzu. Shard is like, remember me, I'm actually your friend. I was the Metal Sonic that helped save you. They bring down Krudzu. Knuckles and Thrash continue to fight. The warp ring closes. Knuckles tries to reactivate it. Doesn't work. An empty warp ring. The Chaotix return back and are like, hey, where's Julie Sue? Knuckles just punches the ground in anger. They still fighting Krudzu. The Metal Sonic takes the Krudzu sample. It means I'm almost out of time. Silver's traitor revealed. Sonic Universe number 50. This is a lot of action. It's almost entirely just Metal Sonic fighting Shard over and over again. Robotnik just keeps rebuilding Metal Sonic and gives him this core thing to learn from his experiences. Shard talks with Nicole about existence for a while. Metal Sonic threatens Antoine. Shard encounters him. They just irrelevant brother. Shard and Metal Sonic fight. They fight. Shard tries to offer Metal Sonic to go beyond his programming. Metal Sonic refuses. Metal Sonic blows up part of Shard. Robotnik brings back another Metal Sonic. And then we get basically Metal Sonic. Remember from issue 25? They just reprinted that. They just reprinted that bit from Sonic 25. Issue 247. Robotnik is refueling in the Arctic. The Arctic Freedom Fighters go with Sonic and Tails and Amy to stop Robotnik. Silver's here. Silver's like, I know who the traitor is. Sonic's like, get the fuck out of here. And Silver explains what happened and how the team has already fallen apart. I'm certain the traitor is Sally Acorn. How dare you? That's it. Hold it. I can't, I promise. I've changed my mission. I'm not here to destroy the traitor. Turns out Nicole is trying to rebuild the castle. Tails doll is doing this, is basically futzing with it. Cream realizes Tails doll is behind the problem. Silver explains that his goal now is to cure Sally and de-roboticize her, since that when she got turned into a robot, that was when the Freedom Fighters broke apart. And so he's already failed to stop the traitor. They thought it was just a traitor to the Freedom Fighters. He's instead here to help save Sally. Okay. Oh, look, it's the fucking Orca dude again. Because he's here in the Arctic, because he's, when he's like, Silver the Hedgehog, I know you. Fire upon Silver the Hedgehog. Robotnik is upset because he's trying to repair. Cream has told an adult about Tails doll and has made a trap for Tails doll. Tails doll crawls out to try to cause more problems. Objective, destroy Team Freedom. It turns into this horrible monster. Sonic and company are fighting Sally at this point. Silver does something to Sally, disable her. The Genesis wave happens again. And that's it. That's the end of the Archie Sonic comics. Because everything beyond that, and I will pull it up. I will pull it up. We have Sonic Universe 51, which is, this is the Mega Man tie-in. And all of everyone except Sonic has been turned into robots, and Dr. Robotnik and Wily are celebrating. Sonic the Hedgehog 248. Go through my archives here. And again, this is all just a Mega Man crossover. Mega Man and Sonic fight. And I don't have the Mega Man comics. So I can't tell you what happens in the Mega Man comics part of this. Because this was brought over from the Mega Man comics and the Sonic comics, and all that happens. Oh yes, this is the last time you see Snively. I forget what issue that is. I didn't note it down. But yeah, Snively is a brief cameo inside an egg prison when we see Dr. Light has been kidnapped in an egg prison as well. It's a Mega Man crossover. I don't like this. What else do I say about it? It's a Mega Man crossover. And then we have this Mega Man crossover with Super Mega Man and Super Sonic. Again, this is they sabotage Robotnik and Wily sabotaged each other. And it's just it's a crossover between Mega Man and Sonic. This doesn't matter to the plot, but then .252, the Genesis wave ends, and turns out Naugus is talking with Nicole, and Naugus touches Nicole, and anyone who touches Nicole gets learns everything that happened with the alternate life, and then Tails touches it and remembers everything, and Sonic remembers everything, and oh look, I remember certain things happening, but I feel like I got some of the details wrong. And oh look, it's King Maximilian Acorn. Remember King Maximilian Acorn when he was last in a wheelchair? He's not in a wheelchair anymore. He's perfectly fine. Oh look, it's the revised Sally. They reset everything. They reset everything because Ken Penders brought a lawsuit against Sega. And brought a lawsuit against Archie. I promised I would talk about it. So here's my talking about it. Turns out, basically what happened was Archie lost the original employment contracts for a number of its writers and artists in a fire. Penders found out that his original employment contract was destroyed in a fire. And so what did he do? He went out and copyrighted things. What did he go out and copyright? Here is a short list of almost all the characters that Ken Penders went out and copyrighted. Aaron, Abby, Alexander Acorn, Ariel, Alexis Acorn, Alicia Acorn, Alpha 100 Series, Amadeus Prower, Angel Law, Anti-Penelope Platypus, Arcus, Archimedes, Armanda Colette, Arlo the Armadillo, Athena, Antelopolis, Aurora, Barney, Benedict, Bernadette Hedgehog, Bimmy, Blackjack, Boomer Walrus, Skintober, Buns Rabbit, Bush Femur, Brian, Canis, Catweasel, Chaos Knuckles, Light Mobius, Chaos Siphon, Christopheles, Kobar, Coco Cat, Colin Kintobor, Cosmic Interstate, Counselor, Crystal Law, Dark Legion, Darwin, Dave, Dio Valente, Diablo, Dimitri Light Mobius, Dingo Regime, Dr. Eggman Light Mobius, Dr. Ivan Katobor, Dr. Niven, Downtown Ebony Hair, Dr. Quack, Drago Wolf, Dylan, Dynamac, Echidnopolis, Echidna Security Team, Echidna Tomes, Eve, Edmund, Alias Acorn, Emerson Acorn, Enerjack, Eric, Espio the Chameleon Light Mobius, Feist, Fire Ants, Fire Ant Council, Fire Ant Hill, Fleming, Florinka, Foxy, Frederick Acorn, Firebrock, Galena, Gayna, Garrick, Jeffrey St. John, Gerbil, Giants for Offensive Occupation Nullification, Glint, Golden Hive Colony, Golden Wingspanner, Grand Conservatory, Hamlin Pig, Harry and Harry, Harry Light Mobius, Harvey Who, Haven, Haven 2, Helmut von Stryker, Hershey St. John, Hermes, Hunter, Ian St. John, Irving Pavlov, Isaac, Jaker, Jenna Lee, Jennica, Jeepers, Jenna Loud, Jeremiah, John O'Hedge, Jordan, Joss, Juanita the Chameleon, Joella Chipmunk, Julius Hedgehog, Julie Sue, Dark Mobius, Julie Sue Light Mobius, Kenilaka, Kalagna, King B, King Gong, Kirby, Kidnappia, Kneecaps Mace, Light Mobius, Knuckles the Echidna Light Mobius, Curtis Lion, Kragok, Lara Lee Light Mobius, Lara Sue, Lita Wolf, Linda Light Mobius, Lisa the Chameleon, Lobo, Locke Light Mobius, Luger, Lyco Wolf, Madam Counselor, Manic Acorn, Future Version, Marcos, Maria Wolf, Marianne, Maria de Colette, Mary Sue, Matthias, Mello, Melody Prower, Menaker, Manithor, Merlin Dove, Miles Prower, Anti-Miles, Merlin Archie, Moonwatcher, Mortori Rex, Mount Fate, Mount Karn Jabo, Necronopolis, Nicole Future Version, Nicolette Weasel, Onux, Orbbot, Paladin, Patch de Colette, Penelope Platypus, Periwinkle, Polysaurus Rex, Pravada, Princess Alicia Acorn, Princess B, Queen Hathor, Raynor, Razorclaw, Rembrandt, Rennefield the Rodent, Rennard, Ricky Lee, Ripper the Rodent, Rita Lee, Rob of the Hedge, Robo Urbonic 1.0, Rudyard, Rutin, Raiden, Saber Light Mobius, Saffron B, Sally Acorn Future Version, Salma the Chameleon, Sandcrawler, Scourge the Hedgehog, Temper Fidalis, Shadowbutt, Sherman Walrus, Chakra, Simon, Sir Kix-a-Lot, Sky Prower, Sleuth Doggy Dog, Smiley, Snow Pigeon, Sojourner, Sojourner Light Mobius, Summersby, Sonia Acorn, Sonia Acorn Future Version, Sonic the Hedgehog Future Version, Sonic the Hedgehog Light Mobius, Sonya Ross, Spectre, Spectre Light Mobius, Stealthbot, Steppenwolf, Streaking Pasha, Depression Squad, Sweetbot, Strinar, Terry Lou, Theodore Acorn, Thunderhawk, Tobor, Valid as the Chameleon, Vonika, Winemaker, Winemaker Light Mobius, Zenon, Xenar, Zax the Echidna, the Zoot Shoot, and of course, Shade the Echidna. All of those characters. You may notice some things in there that hydrate. I will. I took a drink before I started reading, and then I'll take another drink. Yes. He claimed ownership of characters he didn't even create that already appeared in games, that already appeared in other cartoons. He claimed ownership of Sonic the fucking Hedgehog in the future version. In fact, just to emphasize this, I'm just gonna. I hope this picks up on the audio. I'm gonna throw this. Hold on. Did you all hear that? I hope you heard that. Just to add emphasis to it, I threw my empty soda can across the room. All of that. Now, some of those characters you may notice were in that Flynn has been using, like, Jeffrey St. John, like Tails' mom, Tails' dad, Sonic's family, Elias. They literally could not continue the story. Because Penders was claiming copyright of everything, including fucking Dr. Robotnik. The lawsuit basically went that, like, Penders was like, I want ownership. So one of the reasons why Penders did this was because of Sonic and the Dark Brotherhood, but another reason that he claimed was because Archie was not paying him royalties. He wanted royalties on Archie's reprinting of his stories. I can understand that. He claims he did this so that way artists would have the rights to all their characters, but, like, again, he was working for Archie. Archie had a running contract with Sega that anyone under Archie who made a character from the comics, the characters were owned by Sega. However, because Archie couldn't provide their original employment contract for Ken Penders because it was destroyed in a fire and Penders found out about it, he went out and copyrighted all those characters. He copyrighted every single thing he worked on, and the copyrights were granted because in the court case, Archie couldn't provide the employment contract that said that Penders was bound by their agreement with Sega. And so technically everything before Flynn started, technically all of the writers own the characters that were introduced under their rule, which means Gallagher technically owns a bunch, but Gallagher doesn't fucking care. Could all of this have been avoided if, like, Archie had actually paid royalties to Penders? Yes, probably. But Penders destroyed out of selfishness, out of pure selfishness and spite. Because again, Penders was so angry about what they did with his characters, everybody. He was so upset that what they did with his characters that he cared so much about that he left Archie. I just want to note that he left in a fucking tantrum because Sega was wanting him to put Shadow in his fucking brilliant fucking story. He didn't work something out so that the fans were taken care of. How he was so vengeful. He was so vengeful, chat, that he destroyed it all. He destroyed the entire Archie comic continuity. 247 issues. Rather, should I say, we have gone through a total of 366 comics. We have gone through 366 comics of story. The Archie Sonic comics were one of the longest running comic book series ever. Penders is the kind of dude that would burn down the world if he could because someone slighted him. Yes. Exactly. As Very is saying, he's a spiteful child that he claimed he was doing this for the artists' and writers' rights. And Penders has continued to just threaten lawsuits at Sega over everything. The Sonic 2 movie? He threatened to sue Sega over the Sonic 2 movie because he tried to go to Sega with an idea for a movie back when he was writer, and they didn't want it because it was garbage. Again, like, what? Where were they going with the story? Boy, I wish I knew. There's so many like plot threads that were just, what were they planning on doing about roboticized Sally? I don't know. I think Flynn has been public about some of the notes about it, but like they try not to like talk too much about it because they can't really, because again, he would be talking about using characters that Penders had fucking claimed ownership of. So they can't even really talk about what they were going to do with the comics. So instead we have this rebooted continuity, and I don't care about it. Because the entire comic series that I loved, that I grew up with, was gone and destroyed by one spiteful man. And Penders is still filling his he made a compendium, a collection of the Mobius 25 years later storyline that he wrote. He compiled it into a book and added on like 30 fucking pages, and the artwork is fucking awful, but regardless, the plot is awful. It has breastfeeding echidnas in it. It has a naked autistic 18-year-old in it. You know, like, I can't make this shit up. Am I all right, Mousy? You sound genuinely really upset. I am upset because part of why I did this. I had this as a stretch goal in my fundraising stream I last did, because I wanted to revisit the Archie Sonic comics, and this gave me a whole bunch of content. We've had 6 streams. I've had 6 streams of this. I've gone through 366 fucking episodes, and all of it doesn't matter anymore. We don't have a resolution for all sorts of plot threads. This beautiful world, this world that had so much cool and interesting characters to it, was destroyed. And like, the universe that was created in the Archie Sonic comics was really fucking cool. You know? You have the most fleshed out character of Sonic the Hedgehog that has happened with anything. The most fleshed out, the most understandable, the most, like, characterized Sonic. Compare that to what the games were with Sonic. There's like nothing there. Sega doesn't care. Sega doesn't want to rumble that boat because they keep reinventing Sonic every 10 years. But while Sega continued to reinvent Sonic every 10 years for the next generation, the Archie Sonic comics were a constant. They went all the way to what? 2022, 2012? Went from fucking like 1992, 1993? Literally 20 years. 30 years? 20 years. I think it was 20 years because 2012, I think, was the last of the Archie comics before the reset. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy that, and goes to show you how much, like, copyright law in the United States is so fucked. You know? It's crazy. The entire situation is insane. And, like, the more you read about it, and the more you just, like, see that, like, Penders is so convinced he was in the right, even now. And Penders is tracing art? Penders is tracing photos of people? Like, my dude, if you're going to fight this hard to take something away, to take it for yourself so you can be the only person that profits from it, the only person anywhere who can possibly read any of this story is your specific approval, and then you're going to do something with it, and you're going to just set it in a dumpster and set it on fire? Because that's what he's doing. I think he doesn't like AI art. Here's the thing. Penders sometimes is like, Penders is nominally an old school Democrat as well. Penders, like, doesn't like Trump. Penders doesn't like AI art. Penders, again, Penders is an old school comics guy who's convinced he's Jack Kirby. And that's why he did this, is because he saw all the shit that happened to Jack Kirby, and he's like, I'm going to fight for the memory of Jack Kirby. I'm going to fight for the memory of these comic artists and these comic writers who have been abused by the comic companies. And should writers get royalties for this shit when Archie was just reprinting it over and over again? Kinda. I can agree with that. Penders thinks he's Jack Kirby. Penders, we've gone through. Remember back when Penders had, like, around issue number, like, 150, when Penders was in charge of the writing, that he was writing the Kirby kid, the dog who was the son of the legendary Kirby writer. Yes, he put Jack Kirby on a pedestal and got completely the wrong fucking idea about who he was or what he wanted. It's sad. It's sad, chat. It's a shame everything that happened here. That Penders destroyed it all. I hope you all at least enjoyed all of these Sonic comics. Again, I had not read beyond like 200 or so. So like a lot of, especially the Sonic Universes ones, were all new to me. And like Flynn, Yardley, everyone would continue on with the Sonic comics for Archie under another like, there's another like 25, 30, I think they made it to 297. We finished on what, 200 and... Hold on, I'm scrolling down. We finished on 251 is the last one before the Mega Man reboot. 247 was the last one that had the actual, like, pre-Mega Man. Exactly. Like, all of these... Everyone who grew up on these, everyone who, like, experienced them when they were younger, like, remembered all this cool shit, and, like, you felt things about the characters. You felt, like, fucking elation when fucking Locke gave his own life to save Knuckles. Like, Flynn, as soon as Flynn comes in and starts fucking cleaning house, getting rid of all the Deus Ex Machinas, starts, like, using some of these characters and villains like they should have been this entire time. Like, holy shit. It's actually kind of interesting. Well, that's when you started the series, I thought it was a joke. It quickly became genuinely interesting to see how the comics evolved and were dragged backwards, developed further, delayed again, constantly to fight itself based on who was writing and arting for it. And then Flynn came in. Flynn was a fucking super fan and fucking fixed it all. And, you know, Flynn is still writing the IDW comics. I'm glad. I'm super glad he and Yardley and everyone. I've heard good things about the IDW comics. There's no way I can go over the IDW comics now because they're still being owned and printed by IDW. I'm not going to go over them. The reason why I went over all the old Archie shit was, again, because Archie can't reprint it. Sega can't reprint it. The only person who can reprint some of these is Ken fucking Penders. But I hope you've all had a good time with... Hold on, give me a moment. Just a moment, chat. I've just gotten notice that Ken Penders is suing me. He is suing for the copyright of his characters. He is sending me a cease and desist. Chat, we're going to have to reboot the SpaceMouse continuity. Hold on. I think I can feel the reboot coming, chat. Chat, hold on, chat. We're getting rebooted.